Hello, welcome to this video. In this video about how to create a website, we're going to specifically concentrate on a contact form section as being displayed now. As you can see, this section of your website contains a contact form with name, company, phone, email, and your message. And the user can then tap the send feedback button to send it. And on the left-hand side, you've got any additional information like an email address that they can contact with, or a phone, or send by post. It's a normal contact section that you can display on your website. And by the end of this video, you will know how to create it by yourself. And I'm going to show you step for step. Every single piece of code that I write is going to be contained inside of this video. Before we start, if you haven't checked out my channel, I've got a whole bunch of other videos about HTML programming, CSS, PHP, any programming videos that you want to know about in order to create your own website. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and tap the bell icon so you get notified when I release any new videos. If you do want to become a member of my one channel, then tap the join button on my channel and you can become a coffee shop buddy. It's 99 cents per month, or as long as you want to do it. And it's just giving me some form of thank you and supporting me to enhance my channel to provide you with these videos. Otherwise, just simply write a comment down below and saying, hey, I subscribed, or I like your video, I watched your video, thanks very much. And then I can thank you as well back, because that's ultimately all I want to be able to do, is to assist people and to hear whether they liked my videos or disliked them. If you do have any ideas about a video that I haven't done yet, then please feel free to send me a message. Yeah, that'll be it. If you look on my community tab, I'm always updating my community with when I release a video. If you do want to join me on Slack, then if the link is still valid, if not, then contact me once again and I'll give you a new link to be invited to my Slack channel. Okay. With that said, let's get started creating this contact form for your website using HTML and CSS. So, David, let's begin. I've created the files and folders that are required. On the left-hand side here, you can see that we have two folders: a CSS folder, a JS folder, and an index.html. The JS folder has a form.js in it. We're not going to be using that in this video tutorial, but it's there for future purposes if required. Our CSS has a form-section.css, which we've linked also on the index.html in the head, also the script tag too. So that's essentially it. Let's go ahead and split this screen down so we can start coding. Now, as we've shown, we want to create a section of our website. So it's going to have a div that's going to take up the whole screen, first of all, to wrap our section. So let's just go ahead and say div class section form. And so this is going to be the main wrapper itself. And then inside, we're going to have then say section form contents. And this is the thing that's actually going to wrap the content itself. Now, we already shown that we want to have two columns within inside of our form. On the left-hand side, we have all of the name, the email address, and so on. On the right-hand side, we actually have the main form itself. So we want to split this form content into two columns, and we use display flex for that. So we'll now create our two columns that we want. So we'll say section form info is going to be on the left hand side, and we could copy this, but it's too late now. And section form inputs, and that's for all of the inputs. Form data. That's better. Section form data. Okay, so this section form data is going to contain all of the input fields, the form, the buttons, and so on. And this is going to contain all of the random stuff. Okay, so let's now implement our CSS for this one form. Now I'm making a guess that in another file you've already knocked out all of the margin and stuff from your page, but we'll do it in here anyway because I haven't done it in another one. And we'll just say margin 0, padding 0. That's knocking out all margin and padding everywhere. And we'll just make the font family here Arial, first of all. Okay, so let's now create our section form, and we want to know that this has got the width of 100% of the viewport width, and we will want a auto height, but we'll use 600 pixels in the beginning. And just to see what it looks like, let's put a background color of tomato, normal. Save this and refresh, and we see now we've got our section. Let's, because we're going to remove this, is flex display flex. Let's make this flex direction column, justify content center, and align items stretch. And finally, we need to give the body a height so the section form can actually sit in the center. Otherwise, it will just have an intrinsic value of what the section form does have, i.e. 600 pixels. So let's say height of viewport height. Come back to our page, refresh, and now it sits in the center. Like I said, this body is only there for this purpose. This is the most important thing that we need to be able to do. This is section form. This is just here to make it look nice for the time being. So now we have our form body. Let's create our section form. I'm going to rename this to inner and then this to content because it makes more sense. Otherwise, inner doesn't really make much sense. Yeah, this makes more sense now. Let's use 1N. Okay, section form inner is going to be sat inside. So let's say it's first of all going to have a width of, we're going to say have a max width of say like 1,000 pixels and a width of 80%, and background of orange. And the form we want to say display flex direction. We're going to do row because we want it to be able to be centered. We want it to be centered. I'm going to say justify content center and align items so stretch up and down. This will be fine. Let's refresh this. And now we've got our form inner sat in the middle, which is good. And if we say max width of 500, not 5,000, there you can see it gets smaller. So we're saying, hey, be 80%, but have a max width of 1,000. And we can say min width, say 600 as well. That'll be fine. Okay. So now we have that. We want to split this into columns. So we'll say display flex once again. And this is going to be flex direction row. Justify content is going to be flex start, and align items once again is going to be stretch. And let's create this. That won't change it visually. We can refresh it, look the same. Let's now create the section form info. This is going to be sat on the left hand side. So let's create both at the same time. And this one is going to take up, say, like 40% of the view. So we're going to say display flex for later because it's for its own content. And we're going to say here flex 4. And we'll copy this one. And we're going to say flex 6. And we'll give this one a background color of orchid and a background color of whatever that says, pale turquoise. Yeah, and let's have a refresh. Okay, so this looks good. We can possibly say 5 and 7. 7. See if we can, that gets bigger. Yes, it does. Yeah, that'd be fine. 5 and 7 is fine. Okay, so this is now the left-hand column is where all of our form content or form info goes, and the right is where our form content goes. Happy days. So now that we've done this, we can Yeah, let's keep going to do the form info here. And this wants to have like a label, then underneath it some information. So it's going to have like email address as the title, and then underneath it, it'll actually have the email address there. So let's say form section here. Then we need to say flex direction is going to be column. Justify content, we want to be flex start, and align items can also be flex start. Yeah, they don't need to stretch or anything like that. It can just be a flex start will be fine. So let's section form info, and we'll say label, because we'll use a label, and we'll say font size will be 1.2 ems, color will be black, letter spacing 2 pixels, and font weight, I don't know, 500, and text transform, we'll put uppercase in this situation. And then label info text, we'll say here can have a bit bigger text and letter spacing. This can have that. We don't need to transform text here. So let's have a look at our first whoops. And I'm going to put them in a unordered list, each thing. So we'll say a label here, and this is going to be, we'll just write it email, and this then needs to have the text. And here is company at trashmail.com. Happy days. All right, so now we need to knock out all of this stuff from a unordered list. So list style type is going to be none, and that will be okay. And then we can say the li is display block. Don't really need to do that, but we're going to say margin bottom is going to be 30 pixels. That should work fine. And let's have a look at one of these now. Right, there we go. Looks a bit too big, but it's perfectly fine. Okay, but let's go ahead and add the other information that I want to have. And the next one is going to be then a phone, and we can just move this over. And I don't know, we're going to say 0044 and 01208 207 883 223. That's nobody's telephone number. If it is, yeah, I'm sorry. And next we want to have then address. And this is then going to be 22 I reads. That will put a break in here, and it will be, I don't know, SE1 London. Great. Return. There we go. So let's have a look at what that looks like. Okay, good stuff. It doesn't look very pretty at the moment, but it will be fine. The text can definitely be a little bit smaller. So we'll just say 1 em. And I think the letter spacing is actually, I don't like it. So let's have a rethink about that. Yeah, happy days. That's good. So let's now move this UL in. So we'll give it a little bit of margin. Margin top, we'll say 40. And margin left, we'll also say 40 pixels. That's better. I like it. The black I don't like for the text color. It's a little bit too dark, so we're just going to say 222. Yeah. That looks a little bit better. It's just not so hard color. And we could probably actually go to 333. That's perfect. Oops. That's better. All right, let's get rid of this background color of tomato because we don't need it anymore. And we can get rid of the other color as well, orchid, the info. And then the orange. What one was the orange? Yeah, happy days. We get rid of that. Okay, now I do like to have actually this background of the form part in a different color. So what we're going to do is do the form info. We're going to have, say, like a background color is going to be, say, like AAA. But we'll make the, let's refresh that. That's good, but maybe actually like DDD, like that better. Now we can make the text a little bit darker. Yeah, I like that a lot better now. So it's saying something more. The labels also want to have, say, a margin bottom of, say, 8 pixels. Oops, did I do that right? Say display block in order to be able to give it some margin. Yes, we do. Okay, there we go. So that's better. All right, what did we just change then that we didn't want to have? The label actually wants to have font size less than this. So let's say this is 1.1, and then we'll say this is 9. That's better. I like that. And then the font weight can be a bit bigger. Yeah, that's good. And letter spacing at 0. Yeah, I like this. Okay, so this is this side done now. Let's now continue with doing the form area. So let's move all this over. Let's clean all this up. Please. Okay, so now we've done this bit. We want to have on the right hand side, we're going to have your name, the company, the phone, email, a message, and then a button to send the message. We want to have some rows basically. So this is then going to be also in a UL, and in the first one we're going to have address, and this is then going to say something like drop us a message to give us feedback about what you think of our products and services. Something like that. That'd be fine. And then this, yeah, that'd be fine. We can actually take this, put that there, label 2, and make this a label. So we've got the same styling for this. That's good. Okay, once we've got that, then we can create our input fields. And so we're going to say field wrapper here, and this field wrapper is then going to have input type text, and name in this sense is going to be a name, and ID is also going to be a name. Placeholder is going to be your name here. Let's just remove this out of the way for a second. Okay, so this is going to be your name, and then in here we're going to have, say, your company, Let's rename this company and then your company from here. So what's going to happen is these are going to be separated to be 50%, and so it's going to be in one row. And this is then going to be the second row, and this is going to be phone, phone, phone. And then we want here email, email, email. Here we put email in there as well. Okay, so this is then the next row, and then form, let's say text area wrapper, and then text area ID is equal to message name is equal to message 2, and then placeholder is equal to your message stuff. And then we want finally our button, and we're going to say button wrapper, and I'm going to say form button. I'm going to create it myself because I just want to. And then here we're going to say span, and we're going to say let's talk. Or actually, let's say send feedback. Send feedback's better. Okay. So let's have a look. Li div button wrapper, form button, and then the span inside that. The next one is going to be our text area, and that's text area wrapper. I've spelled everything okay. Text area, we've got ID message, name message, placeholder, and text area. That's cool. Next thing we've got our field wrapper with phone and email, your phone, your email, text, email. Yes, that's good. And next we've got text, name, company, your name, your company. Happy days. Let's have a look at what this looks like. Yeah, it's super horrible, but it will turn out to be super nice very quickly. So let's start by writing the CSS for this. And we want to have the section form content UL. Once again, there's list, style type is none, and margin we are going to say same as the UL, and that fixes this problem. Next, we're going to then say that the margin between the LIs is also going to be this here, to be 30. That pushes them down, which is good. But I don't like that. I think it's a bit too much for the form fields and so on to be 30. That looks a little bit better. Okay, next we want to do the field wrapper. And this field wrapper, we want to say display flex. Flex direction is going to be row because we want them to be left to right. And justify content is going to be space evenly. And align items is going to be stretch. Yes. And next we want to say field wrapper input. And essentially what I want to do is have I'm going to say margin right of 25 pixels and a height of 40 pixels, border 1 pixel solid and white, and font size is going to be 1.2 themes. That should work for now. Let's have a refresh. Okay, that looks all right. But we need to say flex 1 to the inputs, and that fixes that problem. Okay, now let's a little bit of text indent for it. Oops. 10 pixels, that moves the text inside, and also it's too big in my opinion. So let's good 9. That's fine. Okay, we want also then say input focus is outline equals none, if I remember rightly. That should then take that horrible outline away. Okay, so that fixes these two boxes, which is good. Next thing we want to do is the text area wrapper. Well, let's just delete that. We don't want to do that for now. We'll do the text area wrapper, and this is going to be flex 1 and display flex direction. It doesn't really matter which way we do it. We'll say flex direction. We'll say column, and justify content can be flex start, and align items can be stretch. The text area we'll say min height can be 300. It's probably way too big. Border 1 pixel here, and be that. Yeah, 300 is way too big. Better. But we want also margin right as well. Happy days, that looks good. And we will text indent and as well. I'm not quite sure how you can do the margin on the top, but I suppose we could do add in top 10 pixels. I think that works, and we can say text area here to knock that out. Yeah, there we go. That works fine. Okay, happy days. So this is this outline none is essentially just knocking out this blue line that's going to display that we don't want to see. Okay, so now we've got our boxes that we have here. Let's change this background color of the form that we have here. So this form contents. Let's say that it's going to be, what do we have here? DDD. So let's say 555. Yeah, and we'll make the text color we'll make the text color different. Yeah, we're going to have to change this to get rid of that. And that instead, and we'll say white. And then we also want to have our let's just say this here. Let's say color white. That'll solve the description text. Happy days. And I don't actually like this white. I think we'll have like a F1, F1, F1. That might fix it. Yeah, it's not so harsh. And we actually can say E, E, F, E, F, E, F. It's a little bit less. I like that a little bit better rather than having this white. It's too bright. And we'll also make the input fields have a background of that as well. Yeah, that's a lot better. And also the text fields. Text area. But yeah. But we want essentially like a border can be something different. That'd be fine. All right, now just got the button to do. So we want to have the button wrapper. And this is going to be display flex direction row. And we want justify content to be flex end because we want it onto the right hand side. And then align items can be center. That'll be fine. And then form button, we want to have border 1 pixel solid, and our white that we chose, let's just replace that with that color there. And border radius, we'll say like 3 pixels or something. That'll be fine. And next, whoops. Next, we want to have this with our span, and we'll say that this has display block, so we can add it, give it some margin and so on. Add in 10 top, 30, 10, 30. Color is equal to this here. Font size is equal to 1.1 ems, and text align center. With this, we can say display flex direction column, justify content center, and align items center. Will do exactly the same thing. Okay, happy days. And then we want margin right 25 pixels. Oh, not span, sorry, my apologies. We want the button. Okay, there we go. Now we want to know that the button has a hover of cursor pointer, and also we'll change that the color of the button. The background color changes when it hovers, and we'll say background of, what did we say the content background area was? Where are you? 555. So 1, 2, 3, and we'll say 40%, and color is equal to black. Let's have a look for now. Is that right? Background of red. Let's see. Here we go. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Obviously not doing anything. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's better. That'll be fine. But maybe we can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is 5 already, David. We want DDD. But then with this, that's why the text is not working. We want to say span. That's better. There we go. And let's just make this 555. Okay, that's good. I like it. So now we've got our button and our message. The text area, the text is maybe a little bit too small. So that's a bit better. Maybe 2. Yep, I like it. We're happy days. All right. Now we could just get rid of this height of the actual box itself. See what that looks like. Maybe we want some padding, or we want some margin bottom on this, say 10 pixels. That's not right. We don't want that. We want anything, we want padding bottom. And that should bump. Okay. Yeah. We want, sorry, the form content we want it. Let's remove that again. And it's the content we want. Margin bottom 10, but it should be padding actually. Yeah. Because we want. That's better. Okay, I like it. And this button can have a little bit of margin top as well. That looks better. And the margin between the LIs can be just increased to 22. That looks good. All right. I like it. It could be possibly better, but it will do for now. Let's just put the section form background. Let's do, what white do we have here? And padding. Yeah, that's good. So now we've got, and we can do a little bit of the inner, can have a box shadow. And this is something like 5 pixels, 2 pixels. EDD, is that going to work? I think I need another number there. I think like 10 pixels there or something. Yeah, that's good. We're not going to do red, obviously, but we're going to do like A1, A1, A1. Yeah. Like 1 pixel, 1 pixel. It's good. And then we'll give this nearly no opacity. Happy days. So that's got a little bit of depth on it as well. I like it. Okay. This was a quick. Was it quick? No, it wasn't quick at all. It was. It just showed you this is how long it takes to do one of these videos. This is a contact form that you could use for your website. This also teaches you how to create a website. There's a lot in this one video that you can use in order to understand how to create a website if you are a complete beginner. So yeah, I hope that you liked it. Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, write any feedback that you do have about this one video in the comment section below. If you are interested in seeing any other videos that I do, then check out my channel and my playlist. I've got a whole bunch of different videos about programming, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, you name it, I've got it when it's to do with programming. And if it does miss anything, then please contact me directly and ask me about, ask me whether I could create a video or not. The most I can say is no. Or no, the least I can say is no, and the most I can say is yes, whatever, something like that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Yeah, tap one of the videos on the screen right now to continue with another suggested video. Thanks then, stay safe, bye-bye.